It's hard.
Ms. Cancel at 6:30.
The Martin County Board of Education is coming to order for June 7th, 2021. Mr. Scott, can you do the pledge and I will do the invocation, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, I come to you to your throne of grace and mercy, and I ask you first to forgive us of all our sin, and then I want to say thank you for all of us and all the things that are happening in Martin County School. We pray that we will continue to move forward in transformation for Martin County Schools, and our decision making should be based on that. I ask you also to take care of our staff, because so many changes are happening, and that we will work towards making things work for our students, our teachers, and our communities. I ask these things in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Can I get approval of the agenda? Mr. Harrell?
Second.
Mr. Heath, all in favor, show of hands. So moved. Public comments, we have any public comments, Scott? Board spotlight, Dr. Fonseca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have student recognitions today. One of the best parts of what we do is to see our students being celebrated and recognized. So we have, we're going to open with South Creek Elementary, and we're going to have, you ready?
Hello there, darling.
Wonderful. PR play pays off.
So, the way we did the process at South Creek Elementary School is teachers vote, nominated students. Since one of my daughter was a candidate, other teachers vote on it, so I didn't think so it was fair. This is Miss Kalia Beach. This student shows so many great attributes as a person. She is never afraid of a challenge and is determined to succeed. She puts in the hard work needed to be the best she can be. Kalia is great at asking questions to better understand something. Kalia is very kind and helpful in the classroom. She is a friend to everyone. She is always willing to lend a helping hand and encourage others to keep trying. She is also a top reader in our third grade group. Kalia's love for helping others is evident on a daily basis in many ways. Some characteristics our classmates share about Kalia are that she is kind, generous, smart, helpful, and funny. Miss Kalia Beach.
So do you want to shake hands, or do you want to take a picture now, or just applauding enough for right now?
Any recommendations from the board, what we should do? Because I would love to just shake her hand. I would love to hear her say something, really.
Sorry to ask.
She said she would say something.
She will? Yes, please take your mask off and let us hear your voice.
Congratulations.
Camille, let's get a picture with this lady that like taking pictures, okay? I'm gonna try to be looking good for you, okay? Oh, let's do together. I'm gonna put it that way, so we can always do it that way, okay? The mama's gonna frame it anyway. Okay? Move in front of the camera. Okay, how we look? Okay to me.
Photogenic, that's how you look.
You will take your mask off?
Yeah, you can take your mask off.
Down just a bit, yes. All right, three
Okay.
things. 1, 2, 3. Great. Oh, beautiful.
Perfect, all right.
Enjoy the summer.
Yeah. Well, just stay right there, Madam Chair.
And you got a whole bunch more.
Yeah. Our next school is South Creek Middle School.
Yeah. Eight already.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
I'd like to recognize
recognize Brianne Davenport for her perseverance and her dedication throughout the 2020-2021 school year. Although she was one of our virtual students, she exemplified the qualities of an exceptional student through her continued dedication to her education and the school community. She was punctual, consistent, and engaged with her virtual and face-to-face peers in every session. She worked diligently in all of her classes, achieving the highest grades often. One of her best qualities included that she could always be counted on to communicate, at least through the chat box or through conversation, which, as some of you may know, that's very difficult in virtual learning. But we could always count on her to be one to speak up and communicate. Her positive demeanor was refreshing during such a difficult year. She always greeted everyone each morning with a hello when she joined the meets and a see you tomorrow when she left. We look forward to her daily participation and her enthusiasm. It is for these reasons that we wanted to recognize Brianne Davenport tonight.
Very nice. Still ready for the picture?
And open up your folder.
Yeah.
Turn it.
How about in the middle? There you go.
All right. You got your mask on? You wanna take it off? We're gonna give you eyes.
Yes.
All right. Got it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Our next school is South Creek High School.
Oh, ask if she wants something, has something to say. I'm sorry.
Hold on, would you like to say?
Oh, thank you.
Hey, there you go.
We're gonna have somebody here that say more than thank you. Wow.
Thank you, board members, for the opportunity to present my South Creek Student of Distinction to you. Julie Messer is a very accomplished young woman. As only a sophomore at our school, she has earned several commendations, including maintaining a place on the honor roll, induction into the Beta Club, and winner of the 4th Brigade Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps Essay Contest for JROTC. She is currently the highest ranking cadet in JROTC, and many of you saw her leading our color guard during the graduation ceremony this weekend. Julie has also led a team of cadets to plan and present their idea for the Cougar Closet at South Creek to Mr. Wagner and Dr. Fonseca just last month. She did an excellent job. On a more personal level, however, I had the distinct pleasure of speaking with Julie multiple times since January. She is bright, kind, patient, and has a sense of purpose and perseverance that sets her apart from other students. She is incredibly humble in the face of all of her accomplishments. However, she is also fearless when it comes to accomplishing a task or doing what is right. I believe that Julie embodies the South Creek spirit beautifully. She is a servant leader, eternally optimistic and positive, with a core strength that will see her through every challenge presented to her. I am grateful to have met her and be a part of her life. It is my honor to present Julie Messer to you.
Nice. All right, one more picture. Yeah,
Yes.
be in the middle.
Oh, okay, yes. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have anything you want to say?
She does. She's a very well spoken. She does. I can attest to that.
Thank you. I'm not really sure what else to say, but thank you.
Very nice.
She had a very strong voice the other day at graduation. I was impressed.
Thank you.
For families here.
That's here.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Dad and Mom.
Thank you. Heard all about you.
We look forward to working with you guys at South Creek.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Our next school is Rogers Elementary. Yeah. Come on in, come on in.
All right.
Cameron Paganis is an all-around amazing student. She's the student that every teacher wishes she had a class full of. She's happy, positive, and always works hard. She is determined to succeed and isn't afraid to ask for help when needed. Cameron plays on 2 softball teams several times a week, is involved in her church activities, and still maintains an A average. Cameron received an award for maintaining principal's list all year, an outstanding student award for computer lab and art. Cameron's personality is contagious. She always has a smile, and her kindness is evident in her words and actions. Cameron is a friend to all throughout the school. Her leadership is seen in and out of the classroom. Cameron is always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need and is the true definition of an exemplary student.
Very nice. Yeah, picture her.
So I want to present this to you. You get a switch. No one else. No one else has received this from the chair but you. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna take a picture. I will give
That
my hand
stand
back.
is in the way, I know it.
Are we okay?
You're fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
You want to say anything?
You'll catch it, brother.
My height.
Yeah, yes.
You want to say anything to the board?
No, thank you. See ya.
Thank you for many
great years.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Our next school is E.J. Hayes Elementary. E.J. Hayes Elementary. No worries.
I'm so sorry that my sweet little Mighty is not here to be with us tonight. She is
Oh.
on to Mexico for the summer to visit family. So Mighty came to Williamston Primary in January of 2019 from Mexico, so no one know English. So she had a few months there before she came to Hayes in the fall of 2019. So she just gradually started picking stuff up. And learning some English. She learned the pledge. So she came to the office and would recite the pledge for it and lead the school in the pledge. When COVID happened in March, she was on her lives with her teacher every day. She did all of her work, probably more diligently than anybody else in the school would have done their work. So she was on top of it all the time. When we came back this year in the fall, she was on her lives every day, got all of her work done. As we've gone through this year, she made her AR goal, and got, all the rewards for that, and was 1 point away from being proficient on her math EOG. So she has just jumped in. She's the sweetest she's friendly. She's just this little spitfire who comes in and everybody likes, and she's friendly to everybody. And, she's that kid that you want because she is in it to win it, and her parents just think that school is important and encourage her. So Mighty
Now,
was
what
our,
grade is
she is in 4th grade now. So
And
she'll
she
be
learned English in 1 year.
I mean, enough that she's, almost proficient in math.
She
Which,
completed her AR reading.
And
She
AR
said
reading.
read in
her goal.
English.
She did. She made her goal. Now she did some in English and some in Spanish, but still to be able to
That's
do that
impressive.
was a great accomplishment, I think. And it's all due to her because she wants to.
Yes.
So,
Very nice.
Motivated.
so she's a very deserving candidate, and I wish she was here, but anyway.
Thank you. for
I did
that.
not want to pick another kid to represent. Not that we don't have other good ones, but I just wanted to recognize her.
So let's stand in place
Yeah, in place of Mighty.
of Mighty.
You can stand over there by her picture.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a great.
Scott, you want to get in here too?
No.
No. Okay.
Right there, perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. We'll make sure she gets it.
Got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations to Mr. Grayson. All right. Our next school is Jamesville Elementary.
Thank you.
Very nice. Come on. Oh, I thought he came in with his own. His own song.
All right, tonight I would like to introduce Mr. Kane Latham. One of the shining stars at Janesville Elementary is a 5th grader named Kane Latham. There are many attributes that we can use to describe Kane. He is a student who is always willing to lend a helping hand. During the school day, Kane always sees an opportunity to be of assistance. Teachers never have to ask for help if he is around. In addition to his helpfulness, he is always the first student to offer appreciation for any act that has been shown to his class. For example, the students received an award for their AR goals, and he was the first student to come back inside to thank his teachers for what they had given him. Not only is Kane kind-hearted, he's also a hard worker. Academics don't always come easy to him, but through diligence and determination, this school year has been successful for him. In remote and in face-to-face instruction, teaching him has been a pleasure. Kane Latham is a Janesville Elementary Student of the Year.
Very nice. Congratulations.
So I'm gonna have to sit down for the both of y'all.
Watch me not stand real close to you because I'm short.
Y'all were saying hi.
All right. Madam Chair, I'll let you step aside and get with him in his principal assembly. There we go. Thank you.
And his family is here, Madam Chair.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mom.
Something to say?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mom?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Great job. All right.
Good job.
Thank you.
Our next school is Riverside Middle School. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, thanks for being here. Come on in, thanks for being here.
So who's the principal? Who's the student? Student over here? I'll stand you with, your principal, please,
Go ahead.
to the appropriate. No, I'm
Thanks,
sorry.
We in church.
To the podium.
He is a minister.
The first student that Riverside Middle School would like to recognize tonight is Demarius Andrews. Demarius Andrews is a polite and hardworking student who has shown endurance throughout this year of remote learning. Not only has he been resilient, he has excelled with high marks in every class every 6 weeks. Demarius regularly attends live sessions, never hesitating to ask questions during or after the live sessions to improve his understanding. He was welcomed presence, his welcome presence responding to questions put forth by his teachers. One thing that Demarius' teachers said about him concerning math and was his grandmother would call or told the teachers that she knew when he was done with 8th grade math class, because when she came in her kitchen, she had to clean up all her whole table because he had papers everywhere, working out everything to make sure that he got his problems correct and did well. And when talking to his teachers, he has done an awesome job this school year in his academics, and we are proud to recognize Demarius Andrews for his academic excellence this school year.
Now you can take a picture. You feel safe to take your mask off or not? Now you can keep going.
Take it off.
Yeah.
Let's turn your certificate around. And we will get a picture. Step closer to you. How? Thank you. Okay.
Good job.
Now,
Congratulations.
Mr. Howell.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to say to the group?
Thank God.
All right, very much.
Very nice.
Nice.
All right, wait, one more.
One more student. Step to the side.
Our next student for Riverside Middle School is Miss Riley Wynn. Riley Wynn is an 8th grader at Riverside Middle School, and she is a student athlete working hard as a volleyball player and student. Riley has maintained a 100 average in all of her classes this school year. And we are proud of Riley and her academic excellence and her dedication to Riverside athletics and to her overall work within the 8th grade. We are proud to have Riley Wynn as one of our 8th grade students at Riverside Middle School and to represent us well as she has. So we recognize tonight Miss Riley Wynn.
Nice, congratulations.
Okay, Ms. Riley, let's step up a little bit.
If you'd like to take your mask off of the picture, you can.
Good job.
Hold it up.
There we go.
And then we just.
All right,
Can we
thank you.
get both of them with both students in there?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And Madam Chair, both families are here. That's your book picture right there.
Very good.
Your book worth it.
Ms. Wynn, you have something you want to share?
Thank you for everything that everybody does.
You're
Very
welcome.
nice. Congratulations.
Congratulations, parents and grandma.
Congratulations. 100. Who does she take out? No hesitation there. Congratulations.
Okay, thanks.
Our next school is Riverside High School. Congratulations again. Thank you for coming.
Good evening.
Stand with your principal, please.
Our student for Riverside High School is Javion Griffin. Whoops, there he is. Javion is the epitome of a scholar athlete. He has a grade point average of 3.5 and is in the top 20% of the senior class. He played football and basketball. All 4 years he was at Riverside, and for the past 3 years has run track. This track season alone, and it's not over yet, Javion has broken 2 school records, one in the 200-meter dash and one in the 400. He's also part of the 4x400 relay team that set a new school record this season. He had 12 Division I scholarship offers. And signed a full football scholarship to the University of Richmond, and he is leaving June 30th, 20th, to go ahead and begin his college career. For the past 2 years, he's been named all-conference in both football and basketball. Earlier this year, he was the WITN Spotlight Player of the Week and was just recently named to the Eastern North Carolina Football Coaches Association All-Area Team football captain. He's just the type of young man that leads by an example. He's a great mentor for the youth of Martin County. And I shared with him and his mom, even though I've only been at Riverside for a little while, and really have not gotten to know him that well, my few interactions with him, he's an amazing young man. He's so polite, well-rounded. He's just an all-around great kid.
Congratulations.
Okay, Javion, can you stand on the other side of your principal and, no, right here, I'm sorry. It's all about you.
Oh, yeah, it's about you. That's yours.
Okay, if you'd like to slip your mask off of the picture, you're welcome to. It's up to you. All right, we'll get one of you and your principal. I'll send her for your school site.
Straighten it up, you're going down.
That's what I want for one for us.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good luck,
Something to
man.
say? Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations. You're about to take autographs now.
Oh, yeah.
Cash them in later.
Congratulations. All the time.
Yeah, our next school is Williamston Primary. Come on in.
Look at the furniture.
Come on in. Thank you for coming. Look at this. Beautiful. Come in. You guys, come on in.
Look, give me a.
Thank you, Shanta.
Very nice.
It is an honor as well as a pleasure for me to introduce our student, Williamston Primary model student, to you this afternoon. Ashanti Ramsaru arrived from New York City in January of 2021. She was enrolled in both virtual and face-to-face learning with Williamston Primary School. She is currently, or was currently, enrolled in face-to-face classes with her first grade teacher, Mrs. Bowler. Mrs. Bowler claims that she arrived from heaven because she is the perfect student behavior. Ashanti is also an apt student in math. She loves all the challenges of solving problems and is a quick learner of any new skills. Mrs. Bowler has also commented on what an avid reader she is in the classroom. When her work is complete, Ashanti always takes out a book and reads, or she writes a story. Currently, Ashanti is reading above grade level. She is a well-rounded, polite, and successful student at Williamston Primary School. And I introduce to you this beautiful young lady right
Very nice. Congratulations.
Hey, parents.
Hello. Congratulations to y'all.
Thank you, we're so proud.
I think you have a right to.
Hold your certificate around, we'll get a picture, okay?
Take your
mask
mask
off.
Take your mask off.
We can see that pretty face.
Hold your certificate a little higher.
There we go.
There we go.
That's wonderful. She does not.
Very good. Thank you.
Tony, y'all hurry up.
Thanks, Dr. Mom.
Hey, is there anything else you want to say? You know, okay. You gotta write a book for us. Just one more picture.
Yeah, get another picture.
One more picture with the principal, please. Take the mask down. Okay, Shanta.
Thank you.
Great job.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a beautiful day. Thanks for coming, guys.
What do you say? Say
Congratulations.
thank you.
There you go. Have a good one. Congratulations. Have a good day.
I need to put my glasses, I'll be right back.
Madam Chair, that concludes our county-wide student recognitions. Turn it back over to you.
Could I get an approval of the consent agenda? Vice Chair,
Second.
Mr. Hayes, all in favor, show it. Oh, who's yelling?
She had to
clear your glasses.
clean her glasses.
Okay, so we're gonna hold off and vote until Ms. Gail returns, I'm sorry. You can ask Ms. Judy to come in if you want to.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we waiting on Ms.
I'm
Gail?
waiting on a vote, but if you want to go ahead and get ready. Yeah.
Dr. Thompson, you don't get your new clicker.
Sure.
We're waiting for a vote, Ms. Carter.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wash my glasses.
Ms. Cardell, there's a vote to accept the consent agenda. All in favor of accepting, show your hands. So So moved. Thank you. Dr. Fonseca?
Madam Chair, so our information items, we're gonna open with the Martin County and Martin County Schools COVID-19 update. Julie Thomas is here.
Good evening, everybody. I'll start with, the update from the health department from Wes. North Carolina, total cases, 1,005,966. Deaths across North Carolina were 13,199, and we've recovered 985,048. Martin County numbers, as of today, we have 9 active cases in Martin County. 2 of those were new cases since Friday, which puts us at a little over an average of 1 case per day. We've recovered 2,263, and there have been a total of 47 deaths in our county. As far as the vaccine in our county, we've got 39% of our population has received their first dose of the vaccine. That's 8,722. And 36% of our population have received their second dose, 7,990. So that's our county numbers. I'm glad to see that they're continuing to go down. And for the most part, our school numbers are looking the same. So this is the same slide that you guys seen before. These were our numbers before Christmas break. I just like to leave those in so you have those. This is our most current numbers. These were our numbers from last week. We did have 1 student diagnosed with COVID, and we had 1 staff member diagnosed with COVID last week. So that's why our exposure numbers are up a little bit. 23 of those exposures of the 24 were out due to either the student or the staff member testing positive. We sent home only 2 students last week with symptoms, and one of those symptoms were the newly added that included the diarrhea, vomiting, sore throat, stupid headaches.
That be the variant or the mutant? Or?
No, they just,
Okay.
what happened, our state guidelines from NCDHHS through the Strong Schools, North Carolina, the guidance that we have to use for public schools, they just added some of the symptom screenings that we typically chose, so. Then this is our staff, so we just had the 1 staff diagnosed. So which was great, we only had 1 staff member out last week. And then these are our total numbers since we've returned after Christmas. So I guess in all reality, our numbers are looking pretty good. We're doing what we're doing. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Chair, our next item is the summer school update. Ms. Wagner is not able to join us tonight. I believe Ms. Scott sent you an email update about Ms. Wagner, so we're gonna just go ahead and jump in directly to the update, if I may. So the North Carolina Summer Learning Recovery Program, as you see on your slide, the numbers are as follows. We are projecting out of E.J. Hayes, 241 students, South Creek Elementary, 191, which combined makes a total of 442 students for elementary. The next slide is Riverside Middle and South Creek Middle, each with 154 and 67. Combined is 221 students projected right now to attend the Summer Learning Recovery Program. And then high school, we have projected Riverside High School 106 and South Creek High School 70 students interested in summer school, which together make 176 high school students for a combined 829 Martin County School students expected for summer school.
Is all this face-to-face or all face-to-face? Are there any opportunities, those that did not sign up for it, to sign up for it before it starts?
But we have a waiting list right now, but yes.
Well, we have 2 schools that aren't listed up there. What are they doing?
Combining locations.
Okay.
These are the locations.
Yes.
That's what they're taking for, because it's the primary.
Yeah. So the SLRP, which the acronym is for Summer Learning Recovery Program, if you see there, the heading is site. So that's the designated site for this. That's why the schools are not listed in city. So the total is 829.
So,
Yes.
Were these students asked to attend or they qualified to go?
A combination of both.
So can just anybody go if they asked, if they were, okay.
So that's a huge number, I'm thinking. It's more than what we expected. Well, amen to that.
Well,
In some essence for the child's education.
yes, absolutely. Our current certified staff is 113 projected. That number may go up or down depending on student numbers, as you can probably imagine. Teacher assistants projected is 30 right now, bus drivers 25, and child tuition staff 15. Our summer learning recovery program site versus dates are as follows, and I believe that I sent you that on email as well. They're just on the board, just as reminders through June and July for both. And there's a little bit of difference between, so you can imagine, between elementary and secondary school. Secondary would be middle and high. Pardon.
So the Boys and Girls Club are partnering with us through this process?
So there's been a development with the Boys and Girls Club because we were supposed to have a meeting today, a planning meeting, and I don't think that they were able to participate. So I'm in the middle of reaching out to them to figure out exactly where we are, if we are at completely go with them as a partner.
You mean participate in the meeting or
Well, they didn't
participate
participate
in
in
our
the
program?
meeting, so I don't know if there are any issues right now that
Okay.
that we need to be aware of. I know that they were, without sounding premature, and I know that we're broadcasting publicly, I'm not exactly sure right now if they are able to provide the services for as many students as they may have signed up. Okay. But again, I realize that we're broadcasting publicly, so I don't want to get ahead of any issues since we were not able to meet with them today. Thank you, Madam Chair. All right, our next update is, yes, I'm sorry.
You mentioned there's a waiting list.
Uh-huh.
What will determine if we start looking at the waiting list? I mean, what,
That number right there.
if those kids don't show up?
No, because we have so many kids and we have this many staff signed up.
Okay.
So at some point, like everybody else in North Carolina, we're going to start running out of staff to work.
Okay.
It's not that they don't qualify, it's not that we don't want them, it's now how do we attract them?
That's how many have volunteered to do it.
I got one question based on the Boys and Girls Club
Yes.
enrichment only.
Yeah.
Help me understand that.
Friday. Friday will be the enrichment day, which means that summer school for us is Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, all of the students will participate in enrichment activities. And Boys and Girls Club are doing that.
As opposed to the remedial.
Correct. And that's the part that I need to learn if there's
they can
enough
offer it.
staff, correct.
Okay, all staff, all 800 some students. Oh, wow.
So if they don't do it then, or can't do it, then we won't have Friday summer school.
We will need to make some decisions. Okay,
Any other question?
thank you, Madam Chair. Our next section is Ms. Sharon Kenyon with the Child Nutrition Update.
First of all, I handed out to each one of you our meal count information since January. That was a handout. And I am excited to report that our breakfast total numbers from January through the end of school June, 119,920 meals were served. Lunch, 129,486 lunches were served. We did get a lot of positive feedback from teachers, administrators, as far as the meals being served in the classroom. Breakfast especially, they said that it really helped with behavior and going ahead and getting the classes up and running. So that was very successful for us. As far as summer feeding, our dates of operation are basically the same as what you just saw that Jan had on her slide. Our 8 dates and our 9/12 dates again are the same. I had put a note, we had some dates that we were unsure about with the Boys and Girls Club, keeping in mind that meeting was not able to be scheduled today, so right now we're living by the moment, by the minute as things change. We are serving in our community, the WC Chance, program. They'll be receiving meals from South Creek Elementary. The Williams Parks and Rec will receive meals from E.J. Hayes. The Boys and Girls Clubs will receive meals on Fridays from South Creek Elementary and E.J. Hayes, because that's where those programs are held. We now have increased, as of today, to 5 summer feeding sites. We were going to combine and only have 4. Of course, we're feeding at EJ with approximately 250 students. Riverside Middle, approximately 154 students. Riverside High, approximately 106. South Creek Elementary, approximately 250. South Creek Middle High combined with approximately 137. We ended up today splitting Riverside Middle and Riverside High. We had talked about transporting the meals and only having one of those sites open. And in talking to the staff, I said, we're talking about milk deliveries and other bread deliveries. And I said, well, what do you all think would be the best solution? And they actually said, we can put these staff members at this school, and we can put these staff members at this school, and we can make it work. So in talking with the staff and their suggestion, we were able to split the 2 schools and have staff at both. So I'm very proud to say that the staff came up with that suggestion.
Now, this is not including summer school students, right?
No, this is
just summer school.
This is summer school.
Are we feeding, we're not doing any feeding of the general?
We are doing feeding of the general public. And hold on a minute, hold that thought.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, you're okay, you're all right. We do now have to move towards more accountability for the meals that we are serving. So, all student meals will require a number or some other sort of documentation to ensure that the meals are being distributed the way that they are intended. With our summer school students, they'll have their lunch number. We can check them off according to their teacher list and their lunch numbers. When we're talking about people in the public, we're gonna ask for a picture ID, hopefully, and at least a signature will be required for the meals that they're picking up, just for these accountability purposes, on behalf of the children 0 to 18 who do not have a current Martin County School lunch number. Or they may have a number from another unit, somebody may be visiting from Pitt County, and they say, I'm a student in Pitt County. Here's my lunch number, so that we can, verify. But definitely, if they could give us a picture ID, but definitely a signature required for people picking up meals that are not our students or people that say are 2 years old and definitely don't have a lunch number, but just an adult signature for accountability purposes. And for our bids, that was also distributed to you in a handout.
Ms. Kenyon,
Yes.
before you move on, can you, since we're still into the summer feeding program, before we leave that, are the students that not attend the summer school can pick up meals, or will they be delivered into the community?
They can pick up. We are not able to offer delivery at this time.
Okay.
Okay, for the bids, and that's a handout there. We are rolling over all of our bids that we normally have. That's the Cisco bids. You can see there the grand total for the co-op for the bid. That's a rollover. We have a local bid with Cisco that covers our ice cream products. Biola has our bid for our milk products. Franklin Bread has our bid for bread products. Franklin did have to go up slightly on pricing, and I've given that to you. DPI sent out procurement guidelines as far as the pandemic and things like that are concerned. And there are items in that procurement guidance where we can accept a higher price due to consumer price index, due to the market, due to availability, and that kind of thing. So that being said, we are able to roll the bid with Franklin. And I have that guidance. It's a 3-page document that I will have on file with Sherry and Dr. Fonseca. And that will also need to be an approved item as well as informational questions.
On the Franklin bid, which number is going to be the number?
The first number
The old
is the
price?
old price,
The second?
second number is the new price. Any other questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, based on Ms. King's, I think if she's asking for approval, we're gonna need to add that to the action agenda. It's not currently listed, unless I'm missing something.
So where do we do this? What part of the meeting do we add this to our agenda?
But at some point, yeah, before the action agenda, you have to amend your agenda to add this item to your action agenda. You can certainly do it right now, or we can do it at the beginning of the action agenda. It's up to you guys. I
So
think it
this
makes,
would be the 2022.
Yes.
This one says 2021.
yeah,
So it would be 2021 to 2022
that's right.
child nutrition bid.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we can do it in action item before we move into action item 1.
That's just fine. I say we amend the agenda once we get back after close.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next item is the one-time COVID supplement for 2020, 2021. It's Karen Rogers. Okay.
Good evening.
Uh-oh. Oh,
You hadn't been updated, keep going, go one more time.
Okay, here we go.
okay. Swing it here for a minute.
Martin County Schools, as part of our proposed ESSER 2 plan that went into the state, we put in to provide a supplement to all employees for their work during the COVID pandemic this school year. The ESSER 2 plan that we submitted to DPI has been approved with these supplements as a part of it. In the plan, the proposed supplement is $1,500 for all full-time employees and $750 for all part-time employees. And the amounts will be prorated only on the percentage of the year that the employee has worked. And for example, what we mean by that is if we had someone that wasn't here at the beginning of the school year and came in and was hired a few months later, theirs would be prorated on that proportion. But all part-time people, regardless of the part-time hours, would be paid $750.
We're talking about certified staff.
All staff, all staff.
TAs.
TAs, child nutrition,
Oh.
bus drivers,
One-
every employee. Yes, ma'am.
How about substitutes, not the
Not substitutes. Okay. With board approval tonight, to pay these supplements, we plan to process them after the regular June month in payroll as a separate payroll run. That way the employee will see when the money's direct deposited into their account exactly how much that bonus portion was. So it won't be combined as a part of their regular month-end payroll process. And just for information purposes, the other counties within the Northeast region I also plan to pay, this type of supplement of the ones that I did survey, the responses I got, their supplements range anywhere from $800 to $2,500. I believe Beaufort County paid in May, and the other counties I spoke with were either projecting to pay at the end of June or either in July, depending on when their ESSER II plans were approved by the state. And so we have that actually listed as well in the action items to get board approval to pay those.
What's the, bonus tax rate?
Well, what happens is when we process.
I heard it's gonna be 49%.
I can't give you an exact percentage. What happens is when we process the payroll, you have to answer a question is, have you processed another payroll this month? And when you answer that yes, it just takes the entire payroll into account to make sure it's taking out the correct amount of taxes. The reason we chose to do this after the regular month-end payroll is because it can cause the taxes to go up a little bit, and we don't want the employee's regular monthly payroll check.
So this is
To
to
be
their
any-
advantage to wait.
We didn't want it to be different than what their normal monthly amount is, and everybody have questions. So that way they can see exactly what their bonus is, or excuse me, their supplement is in a separate amount.
I think that there is a common understanding that anything that is considered a bonus is taxed very high, and it is true.
Just like longevity and everything.
49%. So,
As I say.
but I think what you saw there in the ranges of what we're proposing here, the range is 800 to 2,500. Please consider that there are also some districts that are not doing anything. And so, as you can imagine, their staff are not very happy. This is with your support, I think this is going to be very welcome by our staff.
So the month we take it out in doesn't affect, it's not a change in tax rate, it's just so the employees can see the markdown of what tax was.
With Dr. Fonseca and I discussed it, and we thought it would be better to
Yes,
do it as
that
a
they can
separate
see.
payroll run so they could see that amount. Because a lot of times people, even if we had processed it together, a lot of people don't look at their regular check stub or always understand everything that's on their check stub. So by doing it as a separate amount, they can see exactly what they're getting related to the supplement.
So for our, Madam Chair, Board, for our staff listening at home, there are taxes. Yeah, we are a tax society. So with your support, again, those are our proposed amounts. Any questions for Ms. Rogers? Any questions for
Yes,
me?
I got one. What's the difference between bonus and supplement besides tax? Is it just because of that?
No, ma'am, it's not, we're not using that line, because of tax purposes.
Okay.
There are different lines in the DPI chart of account. Sometimes the bonuses the state, that the state gives, they'll tell us specifically, use a bonus code or for this or whatever. And, for some of those amounts, all of those, some of them, they will tell us we're required to do retirement. Some of them they're not. We have always looked at as a supplement line here being for something you've done supplementary to your normal duties, in addition to your normal duties. And that's how we see what everyone has done during the COVID period.
I like that term.
Okay.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Do a little bit extra, so do a little bit extra.
Mr. Guard is next, Madam Chair, with our monthly update on the Innovation Campus.
Good evening.
Good
As you know, this is our monthly update for the Martin County Schools Innovation Campus. And what we've done is we've included a smaller version of the map that we normally have. So we're gonna go through like we normally do, look at the pictures, match them up with the map that we have included. And then afterward, we're gonna do a brief update of the May 27th meeting. Slides 40 and 41 are the virtual skylight. And as you can see, this is with it up and running. It really has a nice effect, especially on the west side of the campus. And when you're in there and looking, it does look like you've got an open skylight, sky roof without all the issues of having a skylight on a flat roof and leaking. But it does add an excellent effect once you get in there and look at it when it was up and running. But Mr. Matthews and I really like the way it looks. It really adds to the aesthetics of the building. All right, the next set of slides are the curb and gutter installation. And so the crews came in, removed the parking lots, and then the company has come in and working on the curb and gutter installation. And as you can see, it's a very streamlined process. And what they do is they have worked it to where they reduce the amount, and this is neat to me, but they reduce the amount of water that they use to the point where basically when we had those real bad rains last Wednesday and Thursday, they came in, poured it, it sat for about an hour, they covered it with plastic, and then it was fine. So they pulled all the plastic and everything off this morning, and with the grading crew was out there continuing to work. So here's a few more pictures of that, and these were all done last week as they were working. And then they went to it. Now the grading of the parking lot. So what they have done is they removed sections of asphalt, as you can see on your pictures on your map on 7 through 10, or not 7 through 10, but the slides the next 7 through 10 slides. What they've done is they've removed just about all of the asphalt on the main part of the front area, and on the back part of the campus, they've removed about half of the asphalt. And what they have done is they have done a majority of the grading, and it did work because when we had all that rain last Wednesday and Thursday, all the water ran away from the building. Now it was muddy, it was messy because there was rock and there was dirt, but with the way they set up the grading, it's done the job. So we don't have to worry about the water coming back into the building, which is a blessing from what I understand from people that have been in there in the past, even back when it was Roses and all those other stores that have been there. Winn-Dixie, we always had a problem with water. So by y'all taking that step to make that happen, the water now runs away from the building.
And who has the paving contract?
I don't know. I can look it up and get it to you when I get back. Right now, it's Sanderson Company, and they're doing all the rock and the grading, but I don't have the name of the paving company with me.
Well, we didn't choose it. It was did all. We did.
No, you did not.
That was to AR Chestnut, but I'll.
They chose.
But
Well, that's okay. You wanted to get back with.
All right, yes, ma'am. All right. And of course, they're doing the rock up to the 4 inches, and as you can see, they've done a good job smoothing and grading the different areas with that. Now, on the inside of the building, start with number 11 on the west side. These are the different, we're going to show you just some different color combinations. When y'all visited last time, some of the painting had been done, and they're still continuing to work, but now they've started to add the colors, and it really offsets the building, and it looks very nice. So this is one of the, this is the blue, and this is on the back, one of the back walls on the west side, going out the back entrance or exit. This right here, when this was delivered, this was a good sign because this is all of the carpet and tile that will be used to cover the west side, and some of it will go to the east side, a majority of what you're looking at there at the west side. One of the nice parts, instead of doing the traditional roll the carpet out, for lack of a better way to say it, and then you've got to tuck and do all those things, they now are going with squares. So if something gets spilled or something gets messed up, instead of ruining an entire carpet or messing up an entire section, they can literally, us or them, come in, pull those squares up, replace them, put them back down, and you're good to go with that. Also with the tiling. Also included in that is the ceiling tiles, and so they've been putting up ceiling tiles on the west side with that. Now in the restrooms, they've got all of the installation in. They have not done the testing yet, but they've got all the installation in on the men's and women's bathroom. Number 13 on the west side, and what they haven't done the sinks and hook those up. The plumbing's there, but the sinks are not in, and there's a delay on the epoxy sinks that they're using.
I assume they got all the paint in. When we were there, they couldn't get the paint, so that's all come in, all right?
No, ma'am, there's still a supply issue with the paint, and I'll cover that in our overview of the May 27th meeting. So this is in the biotech lab. This is one of the all wall where the storage and office areas are, and that's number 14. Number 15, that is in one of the traditional classrooms up toward the front right corner of the building. And as you can see, that's the avocado seafoam green. It's a relaxing color. And so that pretty well finishes up the picture so far for the west side of the campus. Now this is the front of the campus, the main area, and here's just some quick overview of that. I'm gonna have to, I'll come up and show you just the students. This right here is where they're putting the steel supports, and then that's to put the ephes or the outer covering of the steel structure. Once they get this done, then Williamson Glass is going to come in and complete each one of those square areas with the framing for the glass. Once that's done, that's about a 2 to 3 week from when the frame is done until the glass comes in. And so far, of all the things that have been messed up on the building, the glass, they said the glass suppliers seem to be able to keep a constant 2 to 3 weeks of getting the materials in for that. But if there is any delay, they're either going to put up plastic or plexiglass, not as a permanent, but to go ahead and get the building sealed. And the reason is I'll come back. These areas right here, as you can see, what they have done is they have sheetrocked, say that 3 times fast, they have sheetrocked every area that they can that is not exposed to the weather. So all this around here, corners, if you go down that hall, back around, all of that, is done. But the main areas that are left cannot be done, as you can see, just with Mother Nature until this area is closed off. And that's what's holding a lot of what they're working on. So in coming back to this is number 17, which is the metal fabrication shop. So they've got that area closed in. The new garage doors are in, the windows are in and installed, and the windows just need to be sealed. Number 18, that is where the divider for the classrooms is will be. So that way, if we ever have an outside group that needs classroom access, such as Martin Community College, that area can be moved over, closed off, and then the school can continue to run and do what it needs to do. We've already looked at this picture. And if you'll see with number 20, this is the angle over to one of the maker spaces in the classroom. So once again, what they have done is the sheetrock crew has gone through and everywhere that the weather does not affect on the east side, they put in sheetrock and enclosed it. So I'll stop right there. That's just the pictures that we have for today. Any questions about any of those pictures before we look at the culinary area at South Creek?
I missed, Paul, what is keeping them from closing it up?
Yes, ma'am, not a problem. They're putting in those steel supports. Once they get those put in, then they're going to put the cover and ephes over that, which is like a stucco metal, a combination of stucco and metal cover. Once they do that, each one of those large areas has to be framed in by Williamson Glass. Once that's framed in, then they order the glass. And then from the moment they order the glass, it's about a 2 to 3 week delay.
So that's the holding block right there. Then.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything else was in that path.
Yes, ma'am, on the east
I
side.
didn't understand that. Okay.
I'm
On
sorry,
the
yes,
east
ma'am.
side, okay.
And so what they'll do is once they get, but if there's a delay on the glass, they're going to need to put
glass or something.
just temporary, not permanent, but just long enough so they can get that area sealed in, get the heat and air up and running, or the air conditioning up and running, and get that where they can start addressing the other issues. Not issues, but construction. So basically, they've worked right up to where they have to. And before I go into the remainder of the update, I know at one of the last couple of board meetings, especially when I talked about the CTE plan, we talked about redoing the culinary arts or the foods lab at South Creek High School. So what we've done is I've pulled just a few pictures of what it currently looks like. For those of you who haven't been in there, a lot of this equipment is old, outdated, but we're gonna, by using our ESSER 3 funds, what we're gonna do in addressing safety and security and lost learning through ESSER 3, it's gonna cost approximately $24,000 to do an upgrade of the equipment, and then we're gonna have to contract out some other items. So by the fall of 2022, those kids should be able to roll in there and be good to go. We're also gonna do a facelift of their current foods lab, in terms of some of those equipments over for their regular foods classes. But by the fall of 2022, we should be good to go on the culinary arts lab.
And this is for high school at South Creek.
Yes, ma'am, at South Creek.
I thought we might be consolidating in the future.
Well, what we're doing is, we want,
Then we would have put all that money into that, right?
well, the main thing we want to do is provide a first-class environment, of course, for those kids at South Creek. So that was something that we had looked at, and so we've gone through. Mr. Matthews and I brought in an outside consultant that has helped redo culinary programs at all the North Carolina community colleges that teach it. And so he came in, he checked all of our equipment, went through, and like I said, we were expecting somewhere around the six-figure range, but he felt like that some things could be not used, but like plumbing and some other things were adequate and could do what they needed to do.
Has the CTE Center or the Innovation Center got culinary?
No, ma'am.
You can stay at the high school.
That's gonna stay at the high school.
school.
Yes, ma'am. Culinary and agriculture education will stay at the high school.
Okay, I don't have this out on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Guard,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
said the fall of 22,
22.
so not this school year.
Yes, ma'am, but the next school year. Yes, ma'am, because it's gonna take, we have to go through a whole application process of using the fund. And then we have to get, once we get it, we have to order them, get the equipment in. And then there are gonna be some things that, maintenance and CT are gonna have to work together on, and on removal, installation. We're gonna bring in, bid out, to bring in a cleaning crew that's gonna do a complete go over more than just, your standard. So once that.
that far away.
So,
2022 is not that far away.
yes, ma'am.
We go back.
Fall of 2022. So it'll take us about a year to get that upgrade and all those type of things done.
So would they have a foods class this coming year?
Yes, ma'am, it'll be foods. It won't be culinary, but it'll be foods 1 and foods 2. They already have that on the schedule for the fall and the spring.
In that area right there?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It'll
That's
be,
another.
yes, ma'am. It'll be in their traditional.
I don't really much about cooking. Okay.
That's all right. I've had to learn a lot too since
Okay.
January, so we're gonna learn together.
It also means that we're way overdue, to take some tours of our buildings so that you can see this type of thing firsthand.
Right.
I took a tour with this location, Friday, Thursday? We all need to take a tour.
Yeah, and South Creek has just not been updated at all.
Correct.
Mr. Guard,
Yes,
help me
ma'am.
understand the difference between, the courses for food for this school year, but next year will be culinary.
The traditional foods course, the kids learn to do the basics in the kitchen with some advanced type of techniques. In the culinary, that's where you would basically, for lack of a better way to say it, roll out to a 4-star restaurant and go to work with your Serve Safe certification.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad I asked that because I was thinking that we was not gonna have anything for this school.
No, ma'am. And I'm sorry for that, but yes, ma'am. They're gonna take the Foods 1 and Foods 2 courses, but they won't take the culinary. We won't bring that back until the fall of 2022.
Okay.
Or we can
Did
do
bring
right.
it back?
We're gonna have another.
have them.
Yes, ma'am. We've had it in the past. When I was a teacher at Roanoke, they had it, and when I was the principal at South Creek First,
They
it's
had
just,
culinary.
yes, ma'am. It's just the equipment kind of aged out.
If you look, sorry, Mr.
Oh, you're fine.
Roll back to some couple of the pictures. If you just look at the decline of the equipment, that one, right there, just the decline on that equipment, it's just been sitting there for years. Correct, yeah. So,
The stove is.
But Williamson High School, they've got,
Riverside.
what you know what I'm talking about? They got culinary already, don't
yes, and we're also doing improvements there. We'll have pictures in next.
they? If somebody
the
was
next
majoring it, I guess they could go there if stuff for this coming year.
It would be great if we can, as quickly as we can do it at both high schools. So we're also renovating Riverside.
Culinary too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we've got
Same
all,
thing there.
yeah, we've got all the equipment at, maintenance right now, and so, because we're gonna have to take the older stuff out of there, because they don't have a separate culinary workspace, so they have a traditional foods lab, and so we're gonna pull all that stuff out of
Oh,
there
they
this
gonna have
summer.
their culinary this coming year.
Hopefully in the spring, it just depends on.
So we're liable not to have it at either high school this coming year. Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
All right.
I encourage the superintendent to take us on these tours.
I want to see the school.
all right. And then, the final is just a quick update of the May 27th, building meeting. We had it was attended by Doug and Al Chesson, Kent Manning, Shane McVie, Matt Oakley, Dr. Fonseca, myself, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Harrell, and Ms. Rogerson. And some of the main highlights of the meeting were they discussed things like the ceiling grids, energizing the heat and air or air conditioning, and we talked about the artificial skylight. Sheetrock was also discussed at this meeting because of what we showed y'all with the east side. And once the roof in the front is closed in, they'll be able to sheetrock the remainder of the campus. And highlight of the next 30 days was the parking lot was June 10th through June 18th is their window of completing the parking lot. I don't know if the weather will push it back anymore, but that is the date that they're sticking to as of Friday when we double check. Another thing that they are working on is we talked a little bit about the EFS of the front. The trying to get the building completed on time. They're going to switch to an EFS, which is nicer, more expensive, but AR Chesson's going to take care of the difference of what was going to be up there with the stuff. It's a covering, a textured covering. So in other words, it's like you take your brick and you put this over it, and you have the brick. It's like a shield over it that gives it a different look to it, kind of like an upgrade.
Are we talking about for the whole center front or
For the center front.
that's
to
the
make
big thing? isn't
Yes,
it?
ma'am, to make that more of the focal point. So they have designed it to where it can go up through the brick and line it up with the front. So, so when you come up, you're like, okay, there's your entrance, there's your main, point for the building. And so AR Chesson said, to make it work, to finish on time, they're going to take care of that because they said it's faster, the materials are available, so it'll be no extra cost.
So the deadline for that is when?
It was when they took and opened it in the 1st of March. They said it would take 3 to 4 months to get that completely gutted, installation, glassed, and enclosed. So we're in the third month now in June. So they're basically on target for what they said they would have that done.
June 18th?
No, ma'am, the parking lot, the
Was
deadline
the
for the parking lot is June 18th. This was the month of June. The front, yes, ma'am. Where they said 3 to 4 months. One other thing we mentioned with the bathrooms is they're having issues getting the epoxy style sinks for the boys and the girls' restrooms, men's and women's restrooms on the campus, and there's a 4 to 6 week delay of that. So they're trying to work through that with suppliers and trying to get those taken care of. A couple of other things is they had one painting mistake on the maker spaces. This paint, they put the wrong paint on the wrong walls. So they're gonna have to redo a couple of walls and get the paint adjusted. So they're working on that. They're currently sanding the floors. Today they were finishing those up so they could go ahead and start the carpet and tile. So the next time you come out, you should have the ceiling tiles up top and the carpet and tile in the classrooms the next time y'all come to visit, or hopefully by the end of this week.
Is the paint the quality of the paint or the color of the paint?
It's the quality, not the quality, it's the color, and it's just the raw materials. is where they're having trouble getting a hold of it.
Who recognized the color?
The architect and Mr. Harrell, he called
Okay.
it, yes. So,
So they had the wrong color on the wrong wall.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, they also gave us an update on the project dates, and an official determination was made that, July 1 is when the building will be passed. Dr. Fonseca asked that at the last meeting, and so that is the past due date. But by July 2nd, they're saying we should receive a permit for beneficial occupancy for the west side. So what this means is that we will be able to go in there, and the furniture's supposed to come July 6th. So they'll be able to come in and start setting those things up, because it's part of the furniture that we showed several months ago when we ordered it. Part of the price was the fact that the companies will come in and set it all up, put it exactly where we want it. So like Mr. Edwards and I will be out there, you know, we want this here, we've already got it laid out on the grid, similar to what you see on the maps that you have. And so they'll lay everything out like we want it, but that's part of the price, and that will be able to start after July 6th when it's done. The July 29th is when they are predicting for the inspection of the east side and obtain a punch list. But like I said, with all the timeline and adjustments, we were told that July 1st is the date that the building will be late going forward. So, any questions?
But we know the east side's gonna be after that.
Yes, ma'am.
And
And
that's
as you can,
gonna affect our classes, not, you know, put kids in classes.
well, what we've done is working together with the administrative team and me with my curriculum staff for CTE, is we've built a schedule that is flexible and able to be adjusted as we go. That way that we can serve the kids and have the courses that they need to take and the courses that they want to take at that new center. Because like we said, we're not opening up another school, we're just simply expanding our offerings by opening this building up.
So students are asked to do their schedule throughout the summer?
They should have it, talking with the principals and working together with them, they'll have a good idea of what they're gonna have before they leave in the fall. I mean, leave in the summer, or which was this past week.
Within the building based on,
Based on the course that we lined up for this semester.
so our students, when they come back, they can go to the innovative campus and take the courses they signed up for?
When they come back, or before that, in August, when principals start to send out advertisements of schedule pickup and drop off, when they receive their schedule, they'll know whether they will be on their home campus or whether they'll be on the innovation campus.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a reminder, board, that we are opening a building that is supposed to, and was intended always to support what our high schools are doing. And I think that there's often a misconception that we're opening a brand new school and then kids are just gonna show up at the new building. So this is why early on, when we started really getting to understand the purpose and scope of this project and how we can adapt it to the needs of today in Martin County schools, not 6 or 7 years ago when the concept first came to table, way before construction started. Now we're trying to understand how to make sure that our students are going to utilize it, but we're not opening a brand new school, which is I think what is out there in the community. So the next thing to understand is that some of these classes are very fluid. You can assign a teacher at the new building, but if there are not enough students, there is no point of assigning a teacher to the new building. So we have to make sure that we have enough students taking the classes that we have to offer. So I think the last reminder is, it's going to take, and I think that you've heard me say this before, probably 2 to 3 years to really measure the scope of this center. And that is not unusual when you're not opening a brand new building. You're not opening a brand new school or a brand new high school. We're opening a building that is supposed to support what we're doing already with the school, with the community college, trying not to double up, but support students. So we will need a lot of patience, and I think I'm sorry, Ms. Covey, just 1 second. I think the last point to remember is that this is why our goal as well is to turn it into a K-12 center so that our students are getting interested in CTE courses. So we have to, as I've shared with you before, we're gonna have to build from the ground up interest in CTE courses.
And I think the excitement is growing as we address the needs at the home high school, and which we've done. We've, thanks to the finance department and some other things, we've done about $50-some thousand worth of upgrades already in some of the agriculture shops, some of the other CTE courses, such as the foods classes with different things. And what we're doing is we're just doing like a lot of small equipment upgrades. There will be no dime left behind.
Are we getting good technology in the regular classrooms, or is this just CTE?
Well, we're doing a complete upgrade of the entire school system, technology-wise, with my other hat that I wear.
Like projectors and stuff like that?
Televisions. Each classroom, hopefully by Christmas, we'll have one of those televisions or a style just like that in every
So it won't
classroom.
just be the CTE, it'll be like
No,
a
ma'am,
math
this-
classroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you're witnessing that already because we have moved away from using this thing right here hanging from the ceiling.
Right.
And more into that
Yes,
remote.
yes.
Okay.
The question I had a while ago, and I'm just a little slow, I was under the impression we were offering new courses in the Innovation Center that we didn't know last, the end of the school year.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's when kids register for the next year, right?
Well, so in other words, we've got
So how do
students
they know what to register for?
because they sit down with their families, or the students sit down with their counselors, and they go through the course catalog, and they match it up on the CT side. They match it up with their career interests or what they're interested in doing in college or after high school, to go to work or that
But
transition.
like, is the drone thing gonna start now or later?
That is one of the courses, and that's a spring course, because we've got to do some setup for that
Okay,
course.
So that's
but isn't it something like that they didn't know to register for already? Are you saying they're gonna register when school starts?
No, ma'am, they're already registered. We've got.
So we knew then,
Yes, ma'am.
okay,
Like, we've got 40-some already signed up for advanced manufacturing. We've got 30, another 36 that have signed up for the drone course.
high school kids, I thought they didn't know nothing about it.
Yes, ma'am. Well,
Like say what kind of student they were, okay.
Yes, ma'am. But,
Okay, so y'all knew then, so they have,
yeah, their counselors met with them, because we put all the information in a course catalog, and it was submitted to the school.
okay,
Yes, ma'am.
So just to add a little bit to your question, Ms. Cargill, so we're hoping to move in the direction of doing something with advanced programming and manufacturing. Now, we can try to put that in the fall. It's not going to happen. We don't have the staff that is certified in doing the
Right.
advanced kind of remote manufacturing or assembling, welding or cutting. So there are courses that we're investigating. Here's another example. There's a community college in Guilford County who works a lot with the regional high schools in Guilford County schools. They're doing a lot of composite materials and aviation. I would love to do something with composite materials and aviation because that's the future. We don't have it here. We would not be able to bring that here probably within the next year or two. It will have to be developed as a partnership. Now, they have a partnership with Honda Aviation because of the Greensboro Airport. So we're gonna have to go out and look for those types of partnerships with the industry that we have here. This is again why I'd like to circle back to this. We're opening a building that is going to provide a lot of support to what we're doing in high schools, but it's gonna take some time to really get to know the industry and the needs and the courses that we have to offer. I've said it before and I'll say it again, we need for us to continue to investigate what the industry needs, what are the courses that we need to offer for our students, while at the same time, simultaneously, we're building those programs for the future.
how many signed up for those medical, like the medical classes with the hospital beds and all that?
Well, those classes are limited in size because and so the cap for those is 20 per, because you have to have.
Per semester?
Right, because you have to have a nurse,
Uh-huh.
certified
So
nurse.
have we got any that signed up for that? Are we gonna do that in
Yes, ma'am.
in the
Oh,
fall?
yes, ma'am. In the fall and the spring.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, better off than I thought we were, okay.
Yes, ma'am. We're moving in the right direction.
Well, that's good.
So, let's,
Well, everybody's working hard, so.
yes, ma'am, we're.
Thank y'all. We're working real hard trying to get it through my head how it's gonna work, so.
Thank you, Ms. Cargill. Mr. Guard, we
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate all that you, Mr. Ellis, and Mr. Harold, and everybody else, and Dr. Pacheco, and Ms. Rogerson put towards our innovative campus.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, before you leave, thank you for doing this. It is much easier to follow you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so don't throw away the original. Make
Oh.
sure.
I got copies. Yes, ma'am.
We've made a lot of copies.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam
Yes,
Chair,
sir.
our next item is the evaluation, the improvement plan for social emotional learning. This is not something that you have to vote on, this is we're required to present it to you. Ms. Watson will do the presentation.
Good evening. All right. North Carolina State Board of Education has passed a policy that requires all public school units to submit a plan for improving social emotional learning and school mental health. I have shared a copy of the plan in your board packet. As we developed our plan, our first steps were to examine the resources, processes, and procedures already in place for supporting students in SEL, which is social emotional learning, and mental health needs. One of the strengths for Martin County Schools is that there are already multiple layers of support for staff and students already in place. Our community partnerships are well established and meet a wide range of needs that our students have. Our existing curriculum and staff resources are focused on helping students cope with the world around them, use good judgment, and understand the impact of their actions and behaviors. Our student supports are focused on helping students advocate for themselves and others and create a safety net for them to safely share information with their school administrators. Being a parent is hard work, and our family supports are intended to support whole child learning and assist families as they support their students. We have a lot of support in place for our students and families, and our goal is to connect the supports with as many students and families as possible. That leads us to our plans to improve services for the 21-22 school year and beyond. So after analyzing our current initiatives, we focused on identifying opportunities for improvement. Next year, our district is providing additional supports for teachers and staff. One of those supports that I'm most excited about is Branching Minds, a platform with tools for monitoring student progress and performance across all areas. It will be essentially a one-stop shop for teachers, counselors, and school and district leaders to gather information that will inform our decisions and help each student reach their maximum potential. One of the most valuable aspects of the Branching Minds platform is the embedded SEL and mental health universal screener that will be critical for early intervention when students are in need of additional support. And it is a crucial piece of our SEL plan. Another required component is a suicide risk screening protocol. There are a variety of protocols available, and Mr. Wagner has been in contact with the SBI about piloting a program here in Martin County called BETA. It's Behavior Threat Assessment that includes a suicide risk screening protocol. Once a protocol is selected, all of our students and staff, all of our support students, staff will be trained to conduct those assessments. During 2021-22 school year, my work with MTSS will be focused on working with school and district staff to align processes, provide training, assess current level of implementation, and develop plans for next steps within the MTSS framework. Finally, one of the major initiatives with the SHAC committee for the next school year will be supporting student health and wellness by focusing on staff health and wellness. We will be working with our community partners to host health and wellness events and provide incentives and education to encourage all staff members to take the time to take care of their own physical, social, emotional, and mental wellness a priority. Our plan will be submitted to the state by the end of this month and fully implemented during the 21-22 school year.
Where are we on our SHAC committee?
We have been meeting virtually, even throughout COVID. Our most
our district leaders shack. That included me, Mr. Wagner, Ms. Joy Thomas, our school nurse. We participated in a state level shack conference. I can send you I'll be glad to share it with you for all of our information that we've accumulated so far this school year.
So Martin County School Shack Committee are people, who are the people on the Shack Committee that is participating outside of the school district?
All of our community partnerships, we've got a representative from the health department, the sheriff's office,
Fire department,
the fire department,
the juvenile justice system.
juvenile justice system,
We also have some of our school nurses, and we also have.
school nurses, counselors.
And there are a few folks who serve in a dual role of their parents, and they're also serve on those committees out there. We are in the process of talking with, I think it's Dr. Mann, to see if he will join in with our committee also.
See the difference. Who's talking?
Julie Thomas talked to us about Dr. Mann having, that's who she said.
He's a family physician here. in town.
Okay.
He used to work with Martin Family Medicine.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have another discussion on the Shack Committee another
Okay.
time. Maybe one-on-one.
Absolutely, I will love to.
Thank
Any other questions?
The Triple P program, that's implemented by,
Triple P trains our in-house people. I know we've got quite a few that have been trained. It's a multi-day training. And this year it has been implemented virtually, and we're hoping to move more to in-person next year. But we have had a little bit better success with the virtual. I think it's not as intimidating when you can log in anonymously and still get some of that support.
that's parents.
Right. Any other questions?
Any more questions? Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Ms. Hudson.
Thank you.
All right, we're almost to the end of our information items. Madam Chair, I'm next. I just want to update you. You don't have any handout or anything. Just want to make sure that this is recorded on our board meeting. So for the next year, in Martin County Schools, we're going to begin an analysis of several things. Time, planning, courses, curriculum, the impact of the Innovation Campus, revitalizing South Creek High School, South Creek Middle, the South Creek area, Riverside Middle, Riverside High School, etc. One of the areas of analysis is also how our students get to be successful. And one of those areas that makes students successful, along with planning, is also how much time do we have to make and provide opportunities for our students to be successful. So that's sort of the big picture arriving at. Over the next year, we're going to analyze the impact of 6-week grading periods versus 9-week grading periods. So the reason you see very few school systems, and we are a 6-week grading period, by the way. The reason why less and less school systems are in a 6-week rotation is because there's really not enough time to do teaching and remediation in a 6-week period versus a 9-week period. So what ends up happening, as you probably can imagine, is that you end up teaching 3 or 4 weeks, and then your last 5th and 6th week, you end up doing a lot of reports or complex. And students and teachers really do not have enough time to catch up with each other. Now, I'm saying that slowly, as we have probably a lot of our teachers listening, so we don't need anybody in a panic. What we're going to do is we're going to understand and analyze the impact of 6 weeks grading versus 9 weeks grading.
So after you get the results, implementation from 6 to 9 will start in, we're assuming, We'll start within what timeline?
The 22-23 school year, we wouldn't do anything 21-22 school year.
Okay,
That would be the year of analysis and it coincides with our district strategic plan.
okay.
Okay, or the creation of our district strategic plan. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. McPherson,
Yes, ma'am.
you're up next.
All right, very quickly, the school calendar update. I hoped to be writing you great news that I somehow obtained a waiver from DPI for your school calendar for the 21-22 school year. I was told in no uncertain terms by more than one person that, Brandon, I love you a lot, you're a great person, I can't do anything for you. So the only hope for modifying your school calendar is if the Universal Revised Calendar Bill passes out of the Senate.
So, let's back up, help us understand.
Yes, ma'am.
What you requested.
So what I requested was calendar flexibility to allow you to start before the statutorily required date that you currently have to start your calendar at, which I believe is August 15th. What's the statutory required date?
It's the Monday closest to the 25th of August, which would be the 23rd of August.
Okay. And we are requesting.
I was going through every channel I've got at DPI and the State Board of Education to try to see if there was a way around that statutory required date.
And we could start anytime.
And you can start earlier than that because as a preference, I think your administration is, along with every other administration in the state of North Carolina, I believe, with a few exceptions, would prefer to start before that. And to no avail. I was simply told that unless the state Senate's bill moves, that would allow any district to start earlier, that there's no chance.
What would happen if we go ahead and start early anyway?
As a great question. Because you have to have your calendar approved by DPI. They can, in theory, pull your state funds. They could, I'm not saying they will. I'm saying that's the stick they throw around is, oh, you don't want to play by the rules that we dictated to you, we will not send money. Because that's the deal. They control the vast majority of your budget.
Yeah, the conversation that I have with the folks from DPI said, go ahead and start. But we're holding your ADM until August, the official start date. So no county in their right mind would start without funding.
Exactly.
In the calendar we chose, what date were we gonna start?
I presented to you two calendars. One was a start date of August 16th. The other was a start date of August 23rd, which is 1 week difference. One was ending on June 2nd. The other ends on June 9th. So the calendar that we are now moving towards will be the 23rd.
So we don't have to change
August
that now.
23rd start date, June 9th end date.
Would they give us our exams before Christmas?
No, it is so far off. I mean, they were kind of, no, it puts us in a little bit rougher situation with the community college.
Yes, and I cannot believe the legislature will not.
They won't do it.
They don't care.
So how long we been doing on the wish, this been on our wish list? For what? I know since I've been on the board.
Oh, for all school boards in North Carolina, it's been on their wish list 15 years.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, you know, there's a particularly strong lobby in Raleigh that does not take well to having the summer.
That's the beach fee.
And to the summer getting cut short. Okay, well.
Okay, so I hate to be very bad news, but unfortunately, there was nothing we could do about that. But, RFP, next thing in your packet is a proposed RFP for the board to consider using for legal services. I think it is short but thorough. It is, if this is something the board would like to use, it's Dr. Fonseca to post it, with the deadlines, provided therein, and then move forward in the RFP process.
Wait a minute, what is the RF?
Request for proposals. So that's when you ask different law firms to put together, why they think they're the best. And then you get together and you pick, either the administration or the board gets together and picks who they want to talk to. And then you have an opportunity to sit down and talk to them, and you pick the one you want.
So what's the deadline for in
I
submission?
believe it is the end of June.
In June? And so,
Yep, June 30th.
June 30th, so we need to get this out tomorrow, ASAP.
If the board likes it, if you can set a different deadline, you can do whatever you like, with it. I just, in the interest of trying to get it out there, might as well sooner rather than later. Unless you want to just not do it at all and pick me and my friend.
Can we pick y'all, or y'all a whole lot more than everybody else?
We will move on to,
Trust me, my firm will put in, we will submit a proposal. I've already reviewed that on my part.
Okay,
We will be submitting.
I was told that y'all wouldn't, held you too far away.
okay, let's move on, that's another conversation. Thank you.
I think that's all I've got.
Mr. McPherson, are you,
We
put
got
you on the
to
agenda one more time?
That was my second time.
Okay,
And then we're up to
so,
closed
any
session.
more questions concerning the school calendar and the approval of the, which will come up in our action item, any changes for the RFP? If not, we're gonna move on to, closed session.
Just a quick correction, we did not put the RFP in the action item, which it doesn't have to be.
It does not have to be.
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
All you guys have to do is say you like it, and, or you want something changed.
Okay,
That's,
so we can get a consensus on this,
yes, ma'am.
now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so where we at, you guys are okay with asking Dr. Fonseca to move on with, sending the RFP out, and the deadline, is June 30th, is that gonna be our deadline?
That's on the draft that you have in front of you, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is sufficient, that's sufficient enough time to make that happen, okay? So we got a consensus on that, and so, yes, sir. All right, nothing else, we're gonna move on to closed session, Vice Chair.
Madam Chair, I move the Morgan County Board of Education into closed session, subject to the advice from the attorney, pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and A6, to prevent the disclosure of confidential personal information under GS 115C319, and to consider matters relating to initial employment of an individual employee. The board will also go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11A3 to consult with the board's attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege, to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statute 143.318.11A1 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G and North Carolina Statute 115C-402.
So can I get a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Mr. Hayes? Second. Ms. Madison, all in favor, show your hands. So moved.
No, you guys get Madam Chair, don't forget, we also need to add the 2021 school nutrition bid recommendations. Okay. Make sure.
Okay, we're live.
Martin County School, where we after that?
Getting close to 10 o'clock. I said it's getting close to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, in 3 hours, I'll be at 24.
We're live, Madam Chair.
Okay, we're back into open session. We're moving on to, I'd like to first get a vote on to accept the closed session minutes and not to be released based on personnel matter, private, confidential matters.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the, closed session minutes and leave them closed until gallery.
Mr. Harris, all in favor, show your hands. So moved. All right, so we're going to action item. We need to add something to the agendas, and the action item, it should be we're requesting to be added, will be the 2021, 2022 child nutrition bids.
So moved.
Mr. Heath. Can I get a second? Ms. Cardell, all in favor, show your hand. So moved. So that's the first thing we're gonna discuss on our action item. So there's a recommendation from, the superintendent and the director to, the upcoming 2021-22 bids be accepted by the board.
Move to approve the child nutrition bids for 2021-2022.
Second by, Ms. Purvis. Motion made by Mr. Heath, second by Ms. Purvis. All in favor, show your hands. So move. Next thing on the action item is personnel. Dr. Fonseca.
The personnel report is submitted for your approval, Madam Chair.
Move to approve personnel.
Need to approve, Ms. Purvis.
Second.
Mr. Heath, all in favor, show your hands. All right, we have six show your hands. All, Ms. Cardell?
I raise my hand.
Okay, all opposed? One. Got it. 6-1. Dr. Fonseca?
The next item is the one-time COVID supplement for 2020-21. It's presented for your approval. $1,500 for full-time, $750 for part-time.
Move to approve.
Second.
Ms. Purvis, Mr. Van Hees, all in favor, show your hand. So moved. Okay, now we're down to the community college. Attorney Brandon McPherson.
Board, my understanding is there is a opening on the Board of Trustees for the Board of Education seat on the Martin County Community College Board of Trustees. I would like to open the floor up for nominations to fill that Board of Trustees seat.
Okay, I was approached by Tommy Bowen that he would want to represent Martin County Schools on the Martin Community College Board of Trustees. That is one name that I will submit.
Okay, so Madam Chair, what is the gentleman's name?
Tommy Bowen,
Tommy Bowen.
B-O-W-E-N.
Okay, all right, that's one nomination. Any additional nominations? Yes, Ms. Carter.
I recommend Dr. Tom Daly.
Dr. Tom Dale, okay. Are there any other nominations? All right, the floor is open to debate the two nominees. I think, Madam Chair, this is where you take over.
Okay.
Unless you would like to cede your gavel to your vice chair for the purposes of debate. That's the other option that's available to you.
I'm not understanding.
Okay. You're not understanding, or?
I'm not understanding.
Oh, okay. If you would like to debate on behalf of either candidate, you could hand the gavel over to the vice chair.
No, I don't choose. I'm I'm putting it in, I was asked to submit it, so I
Okay, so
submitted it.
you done what you planned to do. Got it.
Yes.
10-4. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Gail, you got a debate about?
I think, Tom Daly, some of us were discussing who has had, experience in our school system. He's been our former superintendent, and he's been our interim superintendent before, a new superintendent came. I think we need somebody with education experience, somebody that knows about our new innovation program, and a person that it will be well equipped to help us collaborate with Martin Community College. Because as you know, most community colleges now are offering 2 years of high school courses where they, and we are doing that as well. So I just strongly recommend Dr. Tom Daly, and he said if he was selected, he would be honored to serve.
Any more debate, Mr. Van Hees?
Yeah, Mr. Bowen has served on the Martin Community College Board for many years representing the county commissioners. And I certainly think he's done a very good job. He's very aware of our new innovation campus because he was still a county commissioner when we worked to get that started. So just speaking in favor of Mr. Bowen.
Anyone else? There's no more discussion. Now, it's time for a vote. Are you gonna call that vote, Mr. McPherson?
I mean, you can't just check.
Oh, it's my turn. Thank you, Lord. So, Mr. Tommy Bowen and Mr.
Dr. Daly.
Dr. Daly. So, all in favor of Mr. Tommy Bowen serving as a trustee for the behalf of Martin County Schools? Show of hands. Mr. Van Heath, any other? One. All of those showing in favor of Mr. Dr. Tom Daly, show of hands, please. So we have 5. Chair choose not to vote. So, Mr. Dr. Tom Daly is the number of 5. All
We got a
right, so
decision. I think we got a decision.
we have a decision. So, Dr. Fonseca, so you can connect with Dr. Tom Daly and whoever else we need to at the community college. We appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
So the next thing on our agenda, we're gonna move forward, for comments. Ms. Cargile, you have one.
Well, I've learned a lot about the Innovation Center. Every board meeting, I'm learning more and more. And those children that we had, it makes us proud to see those awards they won. It's been such a long night, I never thought about it, but, that list needs to know.
Thank you, Mr. Van Hees.
I don't have anything to add to what Gail said. I was tickled to see those kids tonight.
Mr. Harris. Same here. Ms.
Again, just want to congratulate the student recognitions, and I enjoyed watching the children and hearing their accomplishments. And I hope the recommendations and the ideas that Dr. Fonseca has presented will help us improve next year's school year tremendously.
Mr. Scott.
It could, the sentiments of Ms. Manson, just what she said, pretty much, kind of covered it off.
Mr. Harris.
I just want to thank all the Martin County school educators for meeting the 2021 challenges. I mean, again, unprecedented times. I would say kudos to our staff for their dedication. And I think a testament of that was the spotlight with the young people we had tonight. And also, I want to say I'm excited about the Martin County School Innovation Campus. That's think it will move us from good to great.
That's it. I agree 100% with everybody, but I do support your comment about our staff and our teachers this tough year. Amen. So now, they can breathe a little bit, and I know we're gonna, be able to move forward a little less stressed than our next school year. I want to make recognition to the teacher appreciation banquet that we attended last week, a week before last, and how impressive it is to have some great people that are recognized by their peers, and then have their principals to support the strong recognition from the peers of their teachers. I learned a lot from them, and I'm impressed. I got some energy from graduation. Graduation to me is what we as a school board hope will happen for every student that attend Martin County schools. And particularly with some ideals and suggestions and feelings and parents saying, this is what my child plans to do, or like at South Creek, they introduce each child with where they will go, what their plans are after that. Inspiring, very inspiring, very inspiring. If people don't go to graduation, don't get inspired, they need to get around me. I can help them get inspired. Transportation appreciation luncheon today, awesome. I want to give great appreciation to all our bus drivers and Dr. Fonseca reminded me, share with them that he too know what it is to be a bus driver. And it is a job. It is a job, particularly when you got to get up 4:30 in the morning, and then you got to cut half of your day off to go back and take them back home. It's the first spot. I appreciate your comment, Dr. Fonseca. It was inspiring to me, and I know it made them feel better because they were all happy to go along with it. So the transportation recognition luncheon day was awesome. And thank you again for inspiring us as a group and also the staff to make things happen for those that work hard for Martin County schools. That is all, because I know they're looking at me saying, shut up. Dr. Fonseca?
I'm standing between you and freedom, so.
Yes,
Thank you to the team. I really appreciate the board supporting the idea of the supplement, $1,500 for our full-time, $750 for our part-time. I think they'll be very excited to hear about that tomorrow. It is the end of the year, so thank you to all of our teachers, staff, everybody working directly or indirectly with our students. It's been a year, so everybody's excited to see the 2020-2021 school year in the rearview mirror. So thank you to our students and families who were able to be here today and be recognized. Thank you for the board, for your leadership and guidance. That is it, Madam Chair. Thank you.
29th.
To get a motion to.
The 29th is the revision of the budget. The meeting is at
6:30.
6:30 p.m. on the 29th.
And we need to decide about the July date.
You need, Madam Chair, to decide on the date for the July board meeting.
Let's back up to the other one. What's that, June what?
29th,
Okay, before end of the year at 6:30.
6:30.
And then we have to decide the board meeting for July, which is Sunday is the 4th, and so Monday is considered a holiday. What's your preference? What's your preference? Should we move it to the 12th, or should we move it to the 6th? The 6th or the 12th?
Last year, we did it the following Monday because several people were out that whole week of July.
The 12th? The consensus is the 12th?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the 12th board meeting.
And what was the other meeting date again? The end of the year?
29th.
29th.
June.
For financial review.
6:30. That's a very short one. We just gotta approve everything.
So that's no dinner.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
That's right. No dinner.
Now, we got another date, when we're going to,
Tour the facility.
yes, and I think,
That's
you
the
said
17th
17th.
at 11:30 in the morning for those of you who can attend.
Okay.
11:30 a.m. Okay,
Madam Chair, let me introduce you to the next principal of UJ Hayes Elementary.
okay, you got a haircut. I didn't
Who was that?
Goal 07, look at that suit right there.
Thank you very much. I know each and every one of you, so just thank you. I'm looking forward to this opportunity.
Look like a principal.
We have a different.
He cleans so good.
Yeah, he does.
It's like, you see,
I'll take that as a compliment.
it is, it is.
Hey,
Well,
Jason, how about step out there so everybody on camera
Yeah,
can see
he's
you?
been sitting out there, and please say something, Jason, behind the podium.
Okay.
He's been sitting patiently out there the entire meeting. Oh, my goodness.
Just in there.
All it's missing is, did I do that?
That's it, that's
Go ahead,
it.
Mr. Meyer. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored and very privileged. And I'm looking forward to this opportunity and this new role. I'm looking forward to working with each of you and Dr. Fonseca and other leadership members at Martin County Schools. I'm going to do a very good job, I promise you, and anything that I can't do, I'm going to learn to do so that I can become better at it and become a better leader for this school and for this community.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Meyer. No more Iron Man. You don't look like Iron Man no more. Oh,
Miss Sarah, you get a good one?
I did.
That concludes my comments. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
congratulations. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair, I'm gonna be adjourned.
Second.
And all in favor, show of hands. Someone, okay. Oh. I need a comparison picture. This is a different.
It's been a while.
I didn't even know. Just standing out there and I'm like, who is this guy? That was my teacher.